Many thanks for choosing us. Bodies of the 10 civilians allegedly murdered by men believed to be military in Boku have been released to their families for burial. JoyNews understands the decision was taken after a meeting between the security hierarchy, the traditional authority, and the families on Wednesday night. The bodies have since been buried according to Islamic principles, and the families eagerly waiting to hear from the Regional Security Council on how it intends to get justice for the deceased. Meanwhile, the Upper East Regional Security Council, which is yet to speak on the killings, is yet to meet this afternoon to deliberate on the matter. Assemblyman for the Misiga electoral area, Paul Musa, who himself survived the attack and was hospitalized, will join us live with more. Musa, could you tell us about what happened?
Hello, good morning, madam.
Good morning, sir. What exactly happened?
Okay, the eve day of yesterday, I think there was a periodic gunshot all over the Boku municipality within the township. Then the early mornings of yesterday, the same thing happened. And what I know little about it is the military then came in to see how they can separate these two factions away. So in the process of coming in, we don't know what really happened. We don't know what really happened. They went to a community called Sumburi, and then in the process of separating, they decided to chase one faction, that is the society. And actually, with all due respect, we didn't know what they were really trying to do. In the process of chasing them, this guy withdrew. They ran and left, went to their houses. Then they even chased them to the extent of killing people in their garden. Someone who's in the garden working. They killed one person there, killed a person who was also a water seller, inspecting water with this donkey cart selling. They killed that person, chased them into their own houses, went to a particular man's house who was in the house with his wife and a kid. They killed this man, shot the woman at his arm, then caught the small boy. The boy now was afraid. It's a young boy between the ages of 3 to 4 years. The boy ran and entered into a silo. There's a small silo in front of the house. Then they shot the guy into the silo, then set the silo ablaze. So this was what got to my hearing, and then I was now trying to go there and see how I can save this innocent boy. On my way going, I went and met them on the way with the ammo vehicle with them, about 7 of them or 9. And they were now trying to interrogate me where I was going. In the process of answering them, I told them my personality, but they never listened to me. So as I'm speaking to you myself, I'm physically assaulted. I was admitted at the hospital and given treatment. Today that I'm okay and I'm not in my house. So actually, the military don't know what to say. Frankly speaking, something must be done. Yeah, something has to be done.
I'm really sorry about this, Mr. Musa, but what's the current situation, security situation in Boku as we speak?
I think since yesterday, after the military did this thing, the place has become nothing else, because the entire community and the entire Kosak are still mourning for the death that the military have caused for us. About 8 people in a single community, which I believe it were to be the Mampus and the Kusasis. The Mampus wouldn't have been able of people. You are here to protect us, to save our lives. And look at what you are now taking us to. Frankly speaking, we don't know what to say. With all due respect, they are the military that we think we respect them. They respect them in Ghana. We know their capacity, what they can do. But frankly speaking, to some extent, we are always disappointed in their actions. We don't know. Frankly speaking.
Has this been reported to the regional minister, for instance? He's definitely in charge of the Rexing. He's aware of it?
Yes, it has been reported.
How is he responding to this?
Actually, because myself was injured and I was receiving treatment yesterday, I learned, I was not there, but I learned the Boku Naba, the paramount chief invited me. So they had a meeting at the chief palace. But myself, I was not there because of my injury. Yeah.
Paul Musa is Assemblyman of the Misiga electoral area. Thank you so much for bringing us this update. We'll definitely monitor events and we'll bring you more on this from Boku. We can also do other stories now.
is we don't have furnitures. Sometimes when we are coming to school, we feel bored. We don't even feel to come to school because we don't have furnitures. If you dress and come to school, you come and sit on floor, your things will be dirty. So we are begging the government to give us chairs.
Every morning, these children carry stools and plastic chairs on their heads.
This morning, 5,000 desks are being transported to schools without furniture in the northeast region. That's according to Education Minister Dr. Yawe Duchum. The minister says the intervention is in response to JoyNews' Schools of Shame series, which highlighted the struggles of rural poor pupils. Speaking to my colleague Benis Abubedu Lansa, he adds that a list of needy schools has been compiled to aid in the distribution.
Never stop distributing furniture across the country. Furniture has been distributed
evenly?
Oh yes. Some places have more challenges than others, so you can understand. But we have distributed furniture across the country. As I speak with you tomorrow, about 5,000 pieces of furniture is going to Pandai.
Okay.
It will be loading tomorrow, heading to some of the areas that have serious challenges.
Was this after the documentary, or you were aware of the Pandai situation? I mean,
you highlighted it, and I agree with you that when you highlight a problem, we should solve them. So I'm a fixer. So when you highlight a problem, I'll go and I'll solve them.
Are your people in the chain, i.e., there's an MC there, there's a district director of education.
It's going through the regional director, who, when I spoke with, had just returned from Pandai, and he's liaising with the MC and the district director through the head teachers. So they are doing their compilation as to where the challenges are, because obviously it's not every school.
Right.
So what they are doing now is they are doing the compilation. So by the time it hits there, the regional minister will be there, and they will look at their list and distribute it to the schools that need the help. So there's a plan, and they will be able to help schools that need it. Obviously, there are some schools that may not need it.
This week's edition of our Schools of Shame series revealed that only 3 textbooks have been distributed to schools in the Kurachin-Chumburu district since the introduction of a new curriculum in 2019. President of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, Reverend Isaac Owusu, says the problem is nationwide. According to Dr. Educhum, this problem is as a result of a decision to provide each student with a textbook and involve the private sector in production.
It was 4 core textbooks.
Okay.
And I think the 5th one has also been procured. You see, the thing is this.
Didn't we put the cart?
No, not really.
Didn't we put the cart before the horse then?
No, no. You see, it is a different approach. In the past, we have no focus on one-to-one curriculum procurement. So invariably, you're going to have 2 students sharing a book. We decided that it should rather be one-to-one. So it takes more effort to do one-to-one textbook deployment.
But were you ready for that? 2019 to 2023, that's 4 solid years.
But the books went in 2022, so don't add the 1 year for me.
Okay, 3 solid years. That's enough time. That's enough time that's enough time for a child to grow, walk, and run.
You see, the interesting thing about this is that we as a country, unlike other countries, decided that we allow the private sector to develop the textbooks. So we want to allow the private sector. See, let me tell you this. In the old system, where the ministry had writers, right? And they were writing, it took such a shorter period of time to get textbooks in our classrooms.
So clearly that was a better system, is that not it?
In terms of the speed, but I also have a philosophical understanding that was developed over the years, that the private sector should be allowed to develop in the book industry. That is not to say that this could not have been done faster. So I'll concede that in the future, this has taught us some useful lessons, that you really have to fast track a lot of things to make sure, even if it's private sector development, you can shorten the procurement and other processes so it doesn't drag on forever. So yes, I'll concede. But you also know that they develop what they call learner packs for the teachers for the first 2 years before the third year came and textbooks started going. So it's not as if nothing at all was given to the teacher. And if you talk to the teachers, they will tell you that there's something called learner packs, materials of activities, exercises that were developed for teachers to use in their various classrooms. But from where I said, I concede that we should do a better job in terms of fast tracking, so you don't have that missing link and gaps in terms of new curricula and then deployment of textbooks. So
some politics, MPP flag bearer hopeful Alan Chermantin is appealing to the people of the Volta region who are considered die-hard supporters of the NDC to see him as their son and friend. Speaking during his tour of the region, he says the NPP needs a flag bearer who can garner 80% of votes in the party's stronghold of the Ashanti region whilst increasing its votes in the Volta region. Maxwell Agbagba has more in this report.
Some market women at the racecourse market singing and dancing to welcome Alan Chermantin. Spokesperson for the market, Michael Amponsa, declared the support of the traders for the NPP flag bearer hopeful. He says, we supported President Ikufo-Addo. He had the central market. We are the kingmakers. We are giving you all our support and blessings. We will pick your nomination forms for you when the time comes. We know you do not engage in politics of insults. We will urge you to continue on that path. All the market women here support you, he said.
Nefaye wamanyosem na nyamia oboss ro boss aseno me nhira ode be ma ono eso papa ti esra wadaroma edwa ha ma nyina yetawachi.
One of the market queen mothers, Grace AJ Darkun, says they will lead Alan Chermantin to pick his nomination forms when the time comes. We do not have the money, but help us to pick the nomination form for you. We want to prove our love to you, she said. Another leader, Nana Yafuwa, says Alan Chermantin is their only hope.
To no Alan, no vote.
She says, you have our support. Do not worry. We'll win and become the flag bearer. Speaking in a meeting with Ashanti Regional Chief Imam and others, flag bearer hopeful Alan Chermantin said he appeals to the people of the Volta region. He says they see him as a friend and a brother. He says that is crucial for the NPP to increase its votes in the Volta region during the general elections in 2024.
You need a candidate. Ashanti region about 80%.
He says, before the NPP can win power, we need a candidate who can win about 80% of the votes in the Ashanti region. If we do not get a candidate who can garner that, then the battle will be difficult. You know, these are very difficult financial times. So you need someone who can consolidate your base whilst also increasing your votes in the Volta region, which is the stronghold of the NDC. The people of the Volta region have taken me as their son or friend. So let's think about this carefully. You need to choose someone who can help the NPP stay in government.
The contest is not between us. It's about the contest between NPP and NDC. NPP ni aka ba mu. Se be nyoma ya hye nyina no. na kofa ban fufura amba ama oma mbeka se omo ntoa so eno ne madisia.
We can now speak with Maxwell Agbagba, a man following Alan Sherman team for this campaign. Maxwell, where are you now and what can you report from where you are?
Aisha, we are currently at a traditional council where the flag bearer hopeful Alan Sherman has paid
the flag bearer hopeful Alan Sherman has paid the courtesy call on the traditional leaders. Here, what you can hear in the background going on. The introduction, preliminary remarks before the main conversation will begin. But just before Alan Sherman arrived here, we had some Alan Katz supporters, many of them wearing his T-shirts, coming here to cheer him on and also to welcome him to Sunyani. But we're grateful we are privileged to have with us here the spokesperson for the Alan Sherman team campaign, Catherine Afeku. Catherine, welcome to JoyNews.
Maxwell, thank you for having me, and I'm one of the spokespersons.
One of the spokespersons.
We are many.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. So we started from Kumasi. It's day 4, I want to believe. Day 4, yeah.
Yes, it is day 4.
Started from the Ashanti region and then Bruno East region, Tichiman, now I'm here at Sunyani. I want to find out what's your assessment of the tour so far?
Humbly, we will say the frenzy is intoxicating. The people, the natural euphoria of yearning to see Alan Sherman as the leader is so gratifying and humbling, because from the minute we got down the airport through the streets of Ashanti region, his welcome by the indigents of the region was very overwhelming and also gratifying. That cements the loyalty and the long service of Alan Sherman to the party, and you could feel it. People kept chanting and giving him the welcome of, we remember your work, we know who you are, it is your time. These are some of the nuggets of, and these are not rehearsed or people who are being coerced to say things. It came natural, and there were people who were actually crying just to see him in such good form and in shape for the job ahead. And I would say on the whole it's been extremely successful and we're humble.
Okay. In the Ashanti region, he had a meeting with the regional executives. I'm sure you've seen some of the reports making the rounds that in fact, Chairman Wuntumi was not, the Ashanti regional chairman of the NPP was not in that meeting. How's the Alan campaign team taking it?
Oh, it should be something that we put on the record that as much as Wuntumi was not physically in the room, he gave tacit instruction to Mr. Champon, the first vice, to stand in for him. And there were media people in the room who picked that soundbite, that look. We're here because he has traveled. He had a meeting with us. Out of 17, 14 showed up. And it was him, the head, who had actually given his mandate to the first chair, Mr. Champon, who spoke extensively to that. So people can read the meanings into it. Wuntumi is only one person. There are 17 regional executives. And in fairness to him, he did not boycott the visit. He actually left instructions that, look, due to one or two reasons, I'm in Accra, but I'd like my first vice and the rest of the team to meet you. And we had a very fruitful discussion. Remember, we all have one vote. Wuntumi will have one thumb, one vote. And the 16 executives will also decide. But I would say on the whole, the regional executives, the welcoming they gave was befitting, and as is expected of regional team that is supposed to stay neutral. When an aspirant comes to your office, regardless of your biases, you receive him. So we shouldn't put too much emphasis on Wuntumi not being there. He's, after all, one person. He traveled and he left instructions that they should welcome the gentleman off the soil on his behalf.
I'm sure you've also seen some of the reports, some of the surveys out there projecting that the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, is going to win the flag bearership of the NPP. I'm sure the Alan Tremontin campaign team has seen it. What do you make of those
we saw it and we swiftly went into full gear. We checked the background of this Sustainable African Initiatives that just came up last year, 2022. It tells you the substance of this research institution. The short end of it is it's bogus, it's fake, and it's a desperate attempt to whittle down the sweet welcoming boost that we got in Ashanti region. But these are friendly fires. But it's just that for media, it is very instructive that we do background check of research institutions. These are young people, according to our information, young people housed in somewhere in Leeds who set up a company. There is no traceable address, no traceable phone, and they don't have any track record. But then again, we've been through this game for the last 2 decades, and we've seen phantom research institutions spring up. But in fairness, what they came up with has been rebutted by solid track record research institutions, and even an admonishment to media that please always do the due diligence before we churn out stories from just overnight institutions.
And that was Maxwell Agbagba with Catherine Apeku, one of the spokespersons for Alan Tremontin's campaign. Back here in Accra, Mayor of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, Elizabeth Saki, has vowed to win the fight against sanitation offenders as she personally led the Joy Clean Ghana team to the Agbogloshi market, where more than 30 people were arrested for flouting sections of the sanitation bylaws. Michael Ashale was there for Joy News.
Chaotic scenes at the Agbogloshi market as task force of the AMA seeks to enforce the bylaws that forbade anyone from selling on the shoulders of the street and on open drains. But the offenders will not go down without a fight. And some of these people have decided to take the law into their own hands and rescue their tubers of yam that were earlier taken from them here. Aside obstructing the free flow of traffic, the foodstuffs sold by these traders are at a higher risk of cross-contamination. After years of sensitizing them, they continue to break the law in a brazen fashion.
See, they've just displayed for sale the yam on the background, which is very bad. They've displayed for sale the yam on the background, and it is not every microorganism that has its way into food you cook that will die. Some will hibernate in the heat. Then when you eat it, it will then rejuvenate and start multiplying in you. And we all know that of late we've been hearing food poison issues in the country. And all these things are part of it.
Director of Environmental Health and Sanitation Unit of the AMA, Florence Kuchi, says the Assembly will deploy new strategies to curb the situation.
We have confiscated their goods several occasions, but they are refusing. Now, when you even seize the goods, they won't come again. Instead of seizing the goods, we are going to arrest the human beings. And take the human beings, take them to court. When court finds them and direct them not to do, maybe they will stop doing it. That is what we are going to do now. The whole of this month will be in Agbogloshi, and we'll make sure that before we leave Agbogloshi, Agbogloshi has turned into a new leaf.
And for the first time, the mayor of Accra, Elizabeth Saki, personally led the Joy Clean Ghana team.
All of them, these people, where are your boys?
Please, man, they are doing it at the back. They are coming.
Arrest all of them. How many times do they want us to talk to them? They know what they are doing is wrong, and yet they are doing it. Yes. So arrest them.
For her, offenders will no longer be spared.
I'm in park here. This is what has created the problem at Yellow City Wache. Yeah. It's all because of this fault. You are training them, you are telling them what to do a whole year, and they are not responding to it. Yes. Now arrest them. Yes, arrest them. It's rather unfortunate, and I really feel sorry for my officers. Apparently, That shouldn't be the mood of the market, especially the yam sellers. They are fond of doing that. Either they attack you or they throw stones at you and others. I personally have come, but fortunately, because I'm the mayor, when I come, they are calm and then they try to pass their things. But I've had enough of it. And if they've gone to that extent of attacking my officers, it tells you the next time it will be me. So I'm not going to take it lightly. And that's the action now.
A very difficult day for the JoyNews Clean Ghana campaign team. The mayor herself joined the team whilst they combed through the streets of the Agbogboshi market to enforce the tenets of the AMA bylaws. Well, she's giving her word that she's going to come very hard because it's time that they put some action to the words they've been saying. This time, they will be arresting even those who are buying from those breaking the law. For JoyNews, Michael Ashale.
And away from the Agbogboshi market, 6 people have been killed in 2 fires recorded in Kumasi in less than a month this year. The first involved a police officer, his wife, and a 3-month-old baby in Apromasi in the second week of January. Just yesterday, February 1, a woman including her 3 daughters were also killed in their home after fire swept through the apartment. The development has generated lots of concern for fire situations in the Ashanti region, particularly in the instances that lives are lost. What could be accounting for the problem and why were victims unable to escape the fire? What's the makeup of their homes or structures? We'll be finding out about that more, including the issue of being trapped indoors as a result of the nature of burglar-proof people use these days. First, though, here's a recap of a Boku fire from yesterday.
The family of 3 killed in Wednesday's fire have been identified as Abigail Menu, 28, Nora Yeboah, 9, and Philippa Yeboah, 6. It is unclear what caused the fire, but eyewitnesses say they found the mother shielding the 2 children from the fire after it was quenched. 2 of the 5 people who occupied the house at the time of the incident were able to escape the fire. Community security volunteers who were the first to get to the scene say they heard a loud noise from the house around 3:15 a.m. Commander of the volunteers, Stephen Wondomo, explains they tried to break into the room but were unsuccessful due to fortification of the doors.
We were trying to break and enter and rescue them, but they used some metals to block the back of the door, so we couldn't break through and rescue them. So, but we are able to rescue the landlady and the daughter.
Love News checks revealed the family have been robbed at least twice in the past few months, hence the enforcement of the doors. About 2 weeks ago, a member of the anti-robbery unit of the Regional Police Command, Sergeant Osua Santebefi, and his family were burnt to death in a fire outbreak. Rescuers revealed neither the officer nor those outside could break the door of the room due to the nature of the door. Officers of the fire service are raising concerns over the type and make of the security doors on the market. ACFO Henry Giwa is recommending a national probe into their make.
We should also try and create alternative exits, because most of the time it's just one exit, and when that exit is blocked, you can't find any other alternative. So we should also try and install another alternative exit, so that when it happens this way, you can use the other way to run away. I think these security doors too, maybe it's time for us to also investigate these China doors, their behaviors and whatever in fires, because it's becoming too many that you go and you realize it's the China doors that are being installed, and then the people are not able to escape. Some will come as far as the door and you are not able to open. So I think we have to take it upon ourselves, together with maybe Standard Board, to check the ratings and everything of the doors.
Meanwhile, the service has revealed most of the recent domestic fires are recorded at night. He explains some identified causes and possible solutions.
Coils, and we don't put them on a metal or whatever. with water around it, so that when it dies, everything will die with it.
Timothy Osafo-Fum is the Director of Public Relations at the Ghana National Fire Service. Is joining us live with more. Timothy, what's the fire situation in the Ashanti region? I know you've been doing some work there.
The Ashanti region, hello, can you hear me?
Go ahead, Timothy.
Yes, the Ashanti region for close to 10 years now has been leading in fire outbreaks when we come to the statistics as to how fires occur in the country. We have identified some few reasons. Now, Ashanti is in the middle part of Ghana, and therefore, when migration occurs, people migrating from the upper parts of the country and from other West African countries up north, they come and settle in Kumasi first. And now, fires occur when human activities are rampant. And therefore, wherever you see human activities more, you also find fires more, because our daily activities involve the use of fires for our daily living. And that is how come Ashanti is in the lead when it comes to fire outbreaks in the country.
So what have your investigations revealed about the cause of the last two fires in the Ashanti region?
The one involving the police officer, we are yet to come to the exact cause of the fire. But that of yesterday, we have initially identified the use of mosquito coil as the cause. That is the initial cause that we have identified. However, investigations are still ongoing to either come to a conclusive conclusion as to that is the main cause, or there will be another cause that we identify.
So, Mr. Osafo-Fum, what do you recommend as far as these fires are concerned in case of safety?
Well, we recommend that as a matter of urgency, we should all install what we call early detection system. And the simplest form of this early detection system is what we call the smoke detector. Now, this smoke detector is a simple device that you fix on the ceiling of your home or in your office. Now, the purpose of this smoke detector is to pick up any smoke in your room or in your apartment. Once it picks up the smoke, it gives an alarm. So whether you are asleep or out of your premises, because of the alarm, you will hear. And when you are asleep, you wake up and find your way out. Now, if you are also out of your home, somebody will hear and alert the occupants that there is an alarm blowing, and therefore there might be a problem. So as a first step, we all need to get what we call these alarm systems, which will pick and alert us so that we can escape to safety. Now, again, what we have to do is, because we have also identified that people want to secure themselves and therefore will be barricading themselves inside their homes from armed robbery, we advise that we have two types of these burglar proofing systems. One is fixed burglar proofing system and one is movable burglar proofing system. So we advise that if we want to buy the burglar proof, let's get the one that it is easy to open. Now, those ones, it is either you have a key that is in there, or you have a quick release lock that will also open for you to come out. So we advise that if you have about 2 windows, you fix, maybe because of the cost, you fix a fixed one and a movable one, so that in case of any emergency and your door is blocked, you can use the window as an alternate exit to exit your premises.
Timothy Osafo-Fum, I'm grateful for your time this morning. Director of Public Relations at the Ghana National Fire Service. They definitely will be monitoring and find out the cause of the fires. in the Ashanti region and bring to your notice our viewers. Now, a bridge linking Papase to Domefase in the Gansouth municipality has caved in for almost 3 months and has been left unattended too, leaving residents worried. My colleague Samuel Kojo Brace is there for us now. He's joining us live with more. Kojo, what can you report from that bridge? Hello, Kojo.
To be able to access these two communities. It's been like this for at least the past 3 months. Residents complain that it's been affecting their businesses and their livelihoods. A businessman here who came from the United States of America to put up a poultry farm in this area say this has really messed up his business, and he's shocked that nothing has been done about this bridge. All of the time that it has been collapsed. Some of the residents have been speaking to us about how terrible this has been affecting them.
Kojo Brace is our man on that bridge. He will definitely bring us more in our subsequent bulletins. Let's take a break. On Joy News Desk, we'll bring you more shortly. Welcome back to Joy News Desk. Let's go back to our story on the bridge linking Papase to Domefase in the Gansouth municipality, which has caved in for almost 3 months and has been left unattended to, leaving residents worried. My colleague Samuel Kojo Brace, who is there now, is gauging the mood of some residents. Let's go back to him.
Well, Aisha, so as you saw earlier and as you can see now, this bridge has caved in for some even believe it's been 6 months. So we're trying to give ourselves between 3 and 6 months since this caved in. But the authorities have turned a blind eye to it and nothing is being done. I have some residents here who are willing to speak to us. One of them is a Ghanaian based in US who came to set up a poultry farm in this part of the country. And he says this is really disturbing his business. Chief, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, but not very good because things don't go well with our business here. It's sad and then heartbreaking how our leaders operate in this country. I left America to come in and create a business here in Ghana because our leaders keep promoting local business, and then we try to do our best to help the businesses down here. Myself and many other farms are in there. I came here and it's been barely 6 months. This bridge has been broken and it's really hampering my business, the productivity, and then everything is not going on well because we have to carry the feed, carry water. Our self-transporting us into the farm has not been easy. Sometimes I feel like giving up. Our leaders need to be like up and doing. They need to do what is right. This bridge serves as like livelihood for people. Emergencies happen. Pregnant women cannot be carried on motorbikes to be transported on these bridges. I see pregnant women being put on motorbikes. They get here, they are forced to alight and then walk across the bridge, and then they're put on the motorbikes again, which is crazy. It's not fair for their lives and livelihoods of people that live here.
Okay. From you, good that you have an example of living in 2 different jurisdictions. From where you're coming from in the United States of America, if something like this happens, how long does it take to get it fixed?
There are different kind of accidents and emergencies that happen. This is a life-threatening emergency, and anything happens like this, 24 hours, 48 hours, solution is being found as to how to resolve it because people's life matters. This has been here for 6 months, and in other parts of the world, a bridge connecting 2 communities together, 24-hour service is what is required to fix it. Our leaders need to be up and doing. If they cannot do what is right, they need to give way for people that are resourceful, people that are competent, people who have the country at heart and willing to better things for the ordinary Ghanaian. The ordinary Ghanaian is suffering, and they are up there doing nothing. It's so heartbreaking.
So what do you expect to happen from today?
From today, I expect to see a change. The MCE needs to be up and doing. The assemblyman, I would say, has no power and then has no authority. But the MCE has to be the one in charge to make sure that MP is aware, the appropriate authorities are aware, and the right thing is done. The MCE is the person I put all this responsibility on. He has to make sure the right thing is done. Nobody else will be held or be blamed for this, but the MC in particular, he needs to make sure this is resolved within the next 48 hours. People's life matters. They cannot joke with people's life and businesses. Besides my business, there are many other businesses in there. I have 5 workers. I pay them monthly salary. I'm fed up. I feel like giving up. If I give up 5 people being unemployed, it's going to affect their communities, their families. Other workers are thinking the same because productivity is being hindered.
Okay. Grateful. What's your name?
My name is Ninchi.
Ninja.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me try and speak to you. Are a resident in this part of this community, right? Yeah. Why have you been to the assembly to get them to know what's happening here and what has been their response?
Yeah, I think when one of the TV stations they are coming here and then they spoke to them. If this happen, we have no. Ya fan say ye bre e wa ha say nyama e koso wa ha no no ye hu say aman no omondwe ye ho e say we si dadada be busumi sia chi kura na obia nkasa obia so betwa so a omonye ho hwi e na ye bre pa wo Ghana man mu say omonye ho hwi aman asemra ma aye but we kura na ye no enya obi e na yi ni botom na oye ya anka ye ntumi faso obi. Yeah, this is the guy. We no ye Pastor Rita onu na yi ni sika e na odi ye ma ye faso en ka ye ntumi nko ba bia. Ade na ye wo man ma ye di omudi ahawa to yesu sei. Yesu ye to aba o ye bibia wa ha. Ana aden omu kan kire ye so mu pese oman no ko so mu ka kire na pe ba bi ntina.
Okay. So what he's basically saying is that this happened over 6 months ago. The assembly is aware, but nothing is being done about it, and he doesn't understand why this is the case. He says they are also Ghanaians. They vote. They contribute to the development of this country, and therefore, for their bridge to get destroyed this way, and for nothing to be done by the authorities, is something they cannot, understand, and they expect that the authorities will do something about this. Now, I'm told that the person who used his own resources to put up this wooden structure to link the land and the bridge is here. Chief, to say,
Boku.
Yes, so now do sika the year bridge way.
I mean, I'm the sika ye.
Me who say I saw akuma basropa.
And then tell makuma waso no empanyin fo no mo fa ye nya hwe. Sebio ye nya moa. Ele eso no mo kwatanya ye ne to aba mo ye nipa. Se nya ye sa no a omunya post bia wo ho enti so munya post e so mo dwen ho se ye na ya mo makotena honom enti no ya mo makotena honom no e yo mo so asede e so mbadwen ye ho no matoto nyoma ama ye ho eden ato yen okay because me no ka say sisi me ko ECG 4 office 3 days nie ye nya light mfa nya adwuma ye na nya aban na bie ma ye no e ya na ya nante e na ya bie ye nyuma na ye Inti enya lighting nya adwuma no kwan be be fa se loan am koja mede na matua na ka me de blog e fa hanom e ko supply se se mintimi fa blog on fa abiem baby am de blog be kwa kofa no mewie no na transport fu agi sika ni nyina enti ama me factory aka hokora mintimi operate biem.
So this guy is a block factory owner, and he says that because of this, he's not able to transport his blocks to his customers again, and that's a difficulty for him. He's expecting that things will change. Aisha, it's quite a difficult situation for residents of this area, and the earlier authorities will intervene the best for all of us. Over to you, Aisha.
You heard the Samuel Kojo praise following up on that story. Definitely will bring you more in our subsequent bulletins. Let's take a break and bring you a business shortly.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. The German Industry and Commerce in Ghana and the GIZ will continue to create decent and sustainable jobs to improve the economic well-being of Ghanaians. At a media briefing, Cluster Coordinator at GIZ, Gerald Goskowski, mentioned that about €1 million have been invested into the Biz for Jobs initiative to help both government and the private sector grow and hire young Ghanaians to reduce the high rate of unemployment. Here's more in this report.
Under the Special Initiative on Training and Job Creation, currently known as the Special Initiative Decent Work for a Just Transition, the German Industry and Commerce in Ghana and GIZ have been working with German partner companies to create decent and sustainable jobs in Ghana for the past 2.5 years. Over the period, a Biz for Jobs in review was held to mark the end of the initiative, bringing together Ghanaian beneficiaries and representatives from GIZ to discuss their experiences and professional growth. Speaking to Joy Business, Cluster Coordinator at GIZ, Gerald Goskowski, said they are committed to invest more in job creation this year.
In general context, we are spending several millions from German taxpayers' money, and then of course you also always have the private sector investing, so in the end it's a match of funds, but in the opportunities in Ghana that we are working with and where we are trying to support the private sector to develop.
Head of Competence Center Private Sector Development and Projects at the German Industry and Commerce in Ghana, Stephanie Simon, said this initiative will provide high-quality services to German and Ghanaian companies.
More business for companies, both the companies that enter the market, but also their suppliers, their ecosystem. You know, a company doesn't come just by itself. Usually it brings others and it brings business to others. So that was the main aspect. But then in addition to that, the supply chain, creating employment, creating training opportunities.
The special initiative, which operates under the brand name Invest for Jobs, is implemented by GIZ on behalf of the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development.
3,500 housing units will be constructed with bamboo at Ibura Tayado near Cape Coast in the Central Region. The project, which is being championed by Bamboo Ecotech City, will employ climate change technology, amongst others, to construct the houses. Here's more.
The Bamboo Eco City project is expected to boost the local economy of Cape Coast and its surrounding areas by creating several hundreds of jobs for the people. Bless Kwame Dake, Chief Budget Analyst at the Central Regional Coordinating Council, said the completion of the project will help reduce poverty within the Cape Coast municipality.
Fruition of this project will enable us to reduce poverty in our municipality and also in the Central Region in general. It will help to improve or increase employment and also to ensure sustainable environment where we will be able to live and work appropriately. We are grateful for this project because when you look at the Sustainable Development Goals, Goal 7, Goal 9, and Goal 11, they are all related to the environment, they are related to the climate and how to sustain the climate for our own livelihood. And so we are believing that if we can all be together as one people, on behalf of the family and also the chiefs and the regional coordinating council and the people, we will be able to make this project a very successful project.
Chief Executive and co-founder Samuel Wawe told Joy Business the project will highly prioritize local content policy.
We are looking at 3,500 housing units to be put up there. And what we're going to have is that we want to use the produce, that's the approved produce for export. That's what we are going to base our economy on. So all those materials will be processed here, 70% export, 30% we use locally. Then the workers will stay in the housing unit. The workers will occupy 70% of the housing unit, investors 10%, and then outside, investors 20%. And the people who want to live outside, come work, have holidays, 10%. That's what is going to happen right here. And what we are doing is that we are using housing deficits and a climate change solution for this project. 4 things that we are working on: the climate change, housing deficits, rural-urban migration, and that of food insecurity.
Dasibre Kwebu Ewusi the 7th, Abiaze Hene, said the central region will support the project fully to achieve its vision.
I 10 years. So be a big difference. Yasha Sukakrabe, chair can Yasha Sukakraba, but Yamahu 10 years. You a lot of difference. So be a to car also Babasra. I live in Mount to me as we baby.
All right, and that's it for business. Handing you back to Aisha.
And of course, that'll be it for Joy News Desk. Thank you so much, Daryl, for bringing us business. And that'll be it for now. Log on to myjoyonline.com. There's more of the news and all the developing stories over there. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. See you again at 12.